Let's examine my party ages ConvertAll method. ConvertAll simply goes through the entire list or items inside of your list and converts them to whatever target type you're trying to convert to. Here are the ages of people that have come to my party, thus my party ages. We've examined this sequence several times in previous videos. I could make a list of string for whatever reason. Say I wanted these as strings instead of as integers. I'll say my party ages as string gets new list of string for each int age in my party ages. My party ages as string dot add age dot toString, and that will give me the entire sequence here as a string. And then we can print the party ages, my party ages as string dot for each. We saw that in the last video. Console dot writeLine. Fancy show-off way of printing all the items inside of a list. But you can see there's all the integers again. They don't look any different because console writeLine has to convert them to a string anyway when I was printing them in previous videos. But there you go. That's one way to convert all the items. Another way is to simply say convert all. Let's say my party ages as string. I can get rid of all this and say my party ages as string dot convert all. Convert all takes a delegate here. It's the converter delegate. They could have solved this problem with a func, but I believe the func delegate came out long after the list, after they wrote this method. So we're stuck with this converter, but it's a generic delegate. Let me actually come down here, put that on new line converter, and I'll hit F12 on this. Well, maybe I need to put some arguments here. Int string, and now I can hit F12 on this. And you can see that it's just a delegate. It's a generic delegate. It takes some input right here, and then it returns some output right there. So the purpose of the method that we pass to this delegate must take the input type. In the case, what we're doing is an int, and then the output type. The method must produce the output type, which would be a string. So right here, I'll just say age, do a lambda. You saw in previous videos how a lambda is simply a method. I'm going to take the age. Age's type is an int because the list is passing each one of these items into the lambda expression one by one, and I want to return age.toString. And so this expression returns a string, which is required by the converter delegate, and it also takes an int as the argument. And that gives me a list of strings. Use of unassigned local variable, because this should be my party ages, not my party ages as strings. Sorry about that. Take all the party ages, convert them all by sending each one by one through this conversion method, and produce a new sequence. This list, Control F5, you can see the output is the same as what I had before with that for each. As always, let's implement this method inside of our version of the list that we're writing to mimic the built-in list functionality. Just come here and say public me_list convert all. It has to take a target output type. This is actually going to be an output type. I'll call it U. We are storing types of T. That's the generic type that we're storing, in this case ints, and then we want to convert to some other type, which we'll just call U. In this case, U will be a string. Our output type will be a string, but it could be any type that we want. That's the nice thing about generics, is we're parameterizing the type. It's with method parameters, we parameterize the arguments. With generics, we parameterize the types, and with delegates, we can parameterize the code. I love how flexible coding is, especially that C# has taken many lessons from many other languages. Anyway, convert all, we have to specify this type U that we're going to convert to. Then it will be a converter. The input type is T, the output type is U, and I'll just call it converter. And I could do a for loop or a for each here. We've seen the for loop version in true for all. We've seen the for each version in for each in the previous videos. This actually runs a little bit slower with the overhead of the I enumerable and all that sort of thing, whereas this direct access does not have as much overhead, so I'm going to use the for loop approach here. For in I less than the number of items inside of the list. Hit enter. We actually need a list to return. I'm going to say me_list of type U. I'll call it ret, gets new me_list of type U. The number of items, the initial capacity, I want to be count, so we don't have to do all that resizing that we saw in previous videos. And down here, I'll just say ret.items. I can access ret's items because ret is of the same type as this instance, and I can access my siblings' private parts. though generally you'll probably go to jail if you try to do that. But anyway, it's okay to do that in code. Ret.items sub I gets items. I could say this items, but I think that's a little bit redundant. Items, my items, or Visual Basic, I think you say me items. Anyway, items sub I. But this assignment won't be, we get the squiggly. It's saying, hey, I can't convert a T to a U. That might work, it might not, and so I'll just assume it won't work. So the way we make that conversion happen is by passing the buck on to the converter method. So converter, and we pass in items sub I, assign that to ret items, and then we have to say ret.count gets our count, and return ret. I think we're good to go. Let's see if that works. Let's just change this to our implementation of a list, which is me list, and me list. And I think, yep, Control F5. There we go. Exact same result as we had before. So that's List ConvertAll method.